Hi everybody, welcome back to my art journaling channel. Today I'm going to be having a play in a black Dylusions journal. It's a square one. I haven't worked in a black journal for a very long time. I was kind of inspired by Denise Lush and she's been doing some fantastic pages in hers. So I thought I'm going to get one and give it a go. So I'm starting off by using some tape, and I'm just taping a border around the outside of the page. Now I really should, with hindsight, have just kind of taken a bit of the extra sticky off by just popping it on my jeans first, but I didn't do it, and you'll see that it does pull a little bit of the page up at the end. So then I'm using this stencil, which is a Dylusions stencil, and it's called Diamonds Are Forever, and it's the large one, and I'm just tracing through and drawing the pattern onto the page behind. So the reason that I'm doing this is I'm going to create a cutout of this stencil, and this was the easiest way to do it. So it's a little bit fiddly, takes a bit of time, but it's worth doing, and it will look really good when it's finished. There we go. So then obviously it's time for the craft mat and the scalpel and just cutting out the little pieces. So it's quite fiddly. And the easiest way is just to take your time while you're doing it, and not to try and rush. It's quite an easy design to cut out because it's got lots of straight lines, apart from the flowers obviously, which was, I think, when I started sort of turning the page a little bit just to make it easier. But once you get into the flow, it's okay. And obviously using a good sharp blade on the little knife is a massive help too. So I've just cut out a lot of that bit of me cutting out, because you don't really need to watch all of that, but I'm nearly finished. And you will see then I will start trying to remove the tape from around the edge. So I'm just using my heat gun just to warm up the adhesive on the tape, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, this looks good, it's coming up all right, and then it starts to lift a bit of the page underneath, but you know, it's okay. Just like remember, if you're using tape straight onto your page, just to put it on an item of clothing or something, just to take a little bit of the sticky off before you stick it onto your book. But that's okay, it's only two little disasters. So I'm just drawing through onto the page behind so that I can match my stencil up, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to stencil through so that the pattern matches the cutout, and I'm going to use, no surprises, a rainbow palette for this. So I'm starting off with Dylusions paint, and I'm using Cherry Pie to start off with, and then Postbox Red after this one. They're lovely vibrant colours, and they really do pop on the black background too. Next I'm using Squeezed Orange. So you notice that I did clip the stencil into place. That was just to try and make my life a little bit easier so it wasn't wiggling around while I was putting the paint through. Next it's Lemon Zest. Some really cool names of these paints. Then I used Dirty Martini. Actually, I think that other one was Fresh Lime and then Dirty Martini. Sorry. Then Vibrant Turquoise, Periwinkle Blue, and then the last two colours that I use are Crushed Grape and Funky Fuchsia. And it creates a lovely bright rainbow. Okay, so time to lift the stencil. You can see that all really pops. So then I'm just using a bit of black paint and just painting over those bits where the page lifted a little bit, just to fill in. Then I'm using some of Diane Reevely's fabulous collage images. I think they're from collage, one of the new collage packs, and just putting together a figure and a bit of a border as well for one side of the page. And then I'm using a white gel pen and I'm just going to go in and add some oh my day, I can't speak, some mark making onto the first page with the cutout, just to help bring those elements out a little bit, help them stand out too. So I'm going to use a mixture of lines and dashes just to accentuate the features that are there. And you can see that really does help that cutout bit to stand out too. Then I've decided that I was going to draw an extra line in the border, which I do go back and do something with in a bit. So then I'm just using a Pitt marker pen and I'm just going around the edge of the figure just to give it a bit of a darker outline, a little bit of a shadow, to try and help it just stand out a little bit, because the background is quite busy, but I really wasn't bothered about that. So then I'm using a white Posca pen, and it is quite a thick nib. It's a PC5M, and I'm just adding in my writing. So I tend to get all my words in place and then I'll often go back and just either go over it again or thicken up certain areas of the letters depending on what style of writing I'm going for. This time I was literally just going for my handwriting and nothing any fancier than that really. So this page, before I started, it didn't have any gesso on it at all, but I guess if you wanted to add gesso, you could go in and use some black gesso on the background to kind of prepare the page first. And then I've just used the white gel pen and just outlined some of the features on the collage pieces and just a little bit of mark making on the page as well. And then I went back to the first page and decided that I would add a border right along the edge of the page. It was really, really effective on that black. There is something quite stunning about black and white. So you can see I'm not measuring this or anything, I'm just kind of marking it up where I want it to go, not being too worried about whether they're equally spaced or whether it's all going to fit perfectly. And then the flip side of that page, I just decided it looked a bit plain, so I went in again with my white gel pen and pretty much did the same on this page as I had done on the other side. Okay, and there we go, there's the finished page. So lots of Dylusions fun. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.